A clear indication that your nervous system is dysregulated is your inability to sit still and do nothing, not even for 1 minute, let alone for a meditation of 20 minutes, of quieting the chatter in your head, letting go of all the activities in your life. That includes not only your job, but things that you enjoy to do, like watching TV or eating or being on your phone constantly. You see, we're at the point in our lives where it's not even safe for you to sit and do nothing. Why is this? Well, because we were never taught to know what it is to be alive. It's the difference between tell me about yourself, your story, concepts, and how are you actually alive? Who's actually controlling it? Who's beating your heartbeat, breathing your breath, running the circulation of your blood, digestion? These things may seem like that doesn't need to be understood but it's like how is this all happening? And how are you doing it? Because you'll take credit for it when you want to, but then when we make the inquiry of how are you doing it when you're doing it or when you're not doing it, you're not even conscious of it. The most important thing for you is what is the next thing for me to do? What should I engage? But just to sit and do nothing, it's impossible for you. And this is because your nervous system doesn't feel safe in not doing anything. It feels exposed and vulnerable into the raw intimacy of presence of experience, which is you. You see, when you say that I'm here, and we could say that it's the body, but then I tell you, where exactly in the body are you? You're probably going to say something like, I don't know, I'm just inside the body or I'm inside the head, right? There's an assumption there, which is a concept. But then I say, okay, but actually find yourself in the body. Then you sort of get stuck because you realize that there's something there that can't be explained, can't be understood, but yet it's there because it is you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking for it. It's what you are. But because you haven't seen between these two levels of reality, which is a conceptual layer, and then there is aliveness, existence, beingness. You were taught to constantly do, but you never know what it is to be, right? To be yourself without the need for justification, for approval, for validation. Again, these are just more concepts. And when you're sitting and doing nothing, your nervous system, which is the largest nerve, right, system in your body, it controls everything. It's connected to your subconscious mind, which is your deep rooted beliefs and assumptions. And then it's what controls your emotions. And your emotions, or that energy and motion, determines behavior and action, the direction of your life, right? What essentially you want to do with your life. And much of it, if you look at it, you're not really choosing it. You are conditioned or taught to do certain things. For example, the job that you have right now. Unless you're doing something that you're really passionate and you want to do, then you don't really want to do it. And that's not what you were meant to do. You're meant to express yourself. Why? Because that's what you're here to do, to learn, to grow, but most importantly, express the uniqueness of you. No words can really describe the profound recognition that it is to recognize there is no one like me. This image, this body, this sound, this perspective that is appearing in perspective, right? It's like reality within a reality. But where is the end to that perspective? And what I'm trying to say is that you know that you are the observer of your life. You watch everything, the memories of your life, which you can go back into your imagination, is like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Wow, that was a long time ago when I was a kid. I remember I used to play there. Oh, I remember. Oh, you grew up. Yeah. And then you have imagination about the future of what you expect, of what your nervous system expects. Because your nervous system is a prediction machine. It's based on probability and what you essentially believe, right? We go back to beliefs and assumptions is essentially what your life will be. And this is not something that can just be sort of seen and then it's going to be fixed in a way, because there is really no fixing. This is a mechanism that has to be seen through and kind of let go. It's the watching of it. It's like when you're watching a movie, you recognize, oh, I'm watching a movie. There's no reason for me to react to it because I know that it's not real. There's me here and there's the movie over there. Yet I can fully engage with the emotions, right? The emotions is the key thing. Makes you feel the movie so intimately. And what actually makes it real. And my friend, it's no different than this experience that you're having right now. The only difference is your belief in thought. And belief in thought is everything about experience. Repeat the word elephant, elephant, elephant. What's hearing that voice? You're going to say me. What's hearing that voice? You're going to say me. What's hearing that voice? You're going to say me. That is the mechanism. And so how do you stop that mechanism? By just watching it, not feeding it, not believing it. Because the believer is the believer. The reaction is the reaction. Everything just is. And now when you are sitting and doing nothing, right, it makes you afraid. The nervous system reacts because it's dysregulated. And this is based on survival, but most importantly, you are reacting to life as a person, right? So you're solely identified with the person. You believe that you are this appearance. And here's the bottom line. You're not this appearance, you're not the body, you're not your thoughts, but yet you are. And that's not a contradiction. It's not a contradiction at all, because it's to say there is something beyond it, something that knows it. You see, that knowing is beyond the concepts. You can say, I'm the body, but what is, before you have the concept of the body and everything that you constitute the body to be, you know that you simply are here. And that was the point that I was trying to make earlier, where you say, I know that I'm here, but I just can't find myself. Well, because you are the entire experience of this. You're not just the body, you're the entire environment in which you're in. And so when you identify with the body, you become limited to that perspective. And naturally, you will react to it because the nervous system is trying to protect you. And if it feels that it's not safe while sitting down because you're having thoughts of, I need to be doing this, or what if people judge me for doing this? Because that's you don't get paid for sitting. You don't get paid to really know yourself. That's a direction that you have to take in life. That is a path that you have to choose for yourself. We have the famous saying, know thyself. And that is because without knowing yourself, you can't help others, and you most likely can't help yourself. Or it might be the other way around, which is if you don't know yourself, you'll never help others. You'll never be in true connection. You won't have a true relationship with someone. It'll always just be more seeking. And at the end of the day, it will be empty of the fullness of life, which goes back to what I was saying, the beingness that you are. You do exist, but you're having too many concepts about it. And so the very sense that I can sit and do nothing, it just doesn't mean anything to you. You don't find that it is clarity, that it is the clear recognition of I exist without actually doing anything. And it's beyond the body. It's beyond this. I mean, is there really anything outside of it? I don't think so. But if we go back into you're sitting and not doing anything, right? It makes you afraid. Not because you're actually afraid, but because you have a lot of discomfort, tension, right? So if you are sitting and then you notice this sort of contraction and you have this urge to reach for your phone, which is a trend today, our phones, or you have this thought that says, oh, I need to do this, or what if this happens, right? So thoughts are still reactions. And your nervous system will react to that thought because your emotions are creating your thought patterns. You think it's the other way around. You think your thoughts are creating your emotions, but your emotions is creating your emotions. But your emotions is what is the source of the thought patterns that you're having. And so notice if you have fearful thoughts, restless thoughts, right? Or conflicting thoughts, right? I need to be this certain way. Oh, why doesn't life work for me? Or the very famous one, which is, what if this bad thing is going to happen? What if I don't have enough money? What if I don't achieve this goal? What if she leaves me? And so here is the loop, right? Emotion creates thought patterns. And these thought patterns are really the story that you're telling yourself. You think you're the story, you think you're the voice, but you're not. I'm telling you, it's a mechanism that you have to watch and let go. And now your state is your nervous system. There are two modes, or we can say systems in the nervous system: the sympathetic nervous system, which is your flight and fight, right? This is where you are moving and acting. You need to survive, you need to move. You can't just be sitting. And then there is the rest and digest, which is your parasympathetic nervous system. This is where you can relax. It's almost like going to sleep. There's no one there. You notice that when you go to sleep, the reason it's so peaceful is because there's no image of you. I've seen this. I'm like, oh, this is why it's so peaceful, because I don't have to manage myself. I don't have to perform for you. I mean, the simple fact that I'm at the grocery line, and that's just an example. I can say anything, but when there's others, there is a contraction. Mostly, I think it's in the face, at least that's for me. And that's because you think other people are judging you, not that they actually are. You see, we're also indulged with our own story with ourselves, and we're trying to perfect ourselves and become and achieve. And how can I be better? That sometimes we go into judgment with others, but really, the entire time we're just thinking, how can I get to the point where I'm good enough and I make it? And so we're living in a time, psychological time, because there is no time actually. And so that time puts you in this state of sympathetic nervous system, right? You have to fight, you have to survive, you have to strive. And that is restless energy. You know, the restlessness to not even sit and be able to not do anything, right? So you're always constantly doing. And like I said earlier, that urge to grab your phone, that urge to make the call, these subtle things where you can't even focus on your breath. I mean, these are the things that I struggle with, that I'm seeing, that when I observe the body, my breath, the sensations, the overlay of the story of these sensations. And I'm like, there's a clear distinction between what is watching it or what knows it versus what my mind is telling me, which the me is the me, the you is the you. It's not a contradiction. It's how the paradox works, because it's how it experiences itself. For something to experience itself as itself, it needs to create a paradox. But the paradox is really only in the mind, because the mind can't understand awareness, yet awareness is where the mind appears. And so here's the most important thing that you need to remember. Your nervous system is your state of being. And depending on the state of your nervous system, that's what you're attracting and that's what you are pushing away. And so when you are trying to manifest something or achieve something, your nervous system is what's going to determine if you're going to get it or not. And as you know, the universe does not give you, or life does not give you what you want, because that's a thought, that's grasping, that's I lack, therefore I want. It gives you who you are being, your state. Your state is your mood, your emotions. Your emotion is your energy, it's your aliveness. And that aliveness determines who you are. It determines what you are going towards in life, why you are here, why you decided to come here and awaken to your true self, your authentic self, which is the highest vibration. I mean, love can be another one, but authenticity, to really be you, to really love yourself, not because you need to. You see, consciousness cannot love itself because love is not a thing. It's intimacy with itself. That other is you, just in a different form, in a different taste. Every object is you. It's a manifestation of you. And so the nervous system creates the state creates the emotion, your mood. And you notice this by how you are breathing, by how tense you are. Is there that restless energy even when you're doing something? Are you contracted? We were never really taught how to relax while actually doing. We get trapped in the doing, but never actually become aware of what is doing the doing. Another word to say that is what is aware of you being aware, what is alive of being alive. If you don't recognize this, you will live your entire life with the sense of dissatisfaction, because the mind is about never enough, that this is not it, but yet this is the only thing that will ever be it. And once you see that, there's going to be like this okayness, right? Because you don't really lack anything if you are the aliveness that is giving the capacity for all of this. If your state is in one of abundance, of authenticity, of love, like I said, it's how you feel in the body. It is a physical sensation, and it's a signature vibration for you specifically. I would really recommend that you get into human design and learn about yourself there, because that's really going to tell you about your personality, your certain attributes and qualities that you can offer to the world. Another emotion is fear. Fear for many of us is a constant because we are afraid of the unknown, yet this life is the unknown. We never know what's going to happen. The only thing we do know is that we know. Everything is coming and going, is changing, and that is the constant. But I would say that there is a constant that knows, and that doesn't change, right? Does the knowing of this actually change? That which is hearing the voice, that which is feeling the sensations, that which is alive. When you look into your inner body, which Eckhart Tolle talks about this, when you go into your inner body, Eckhart Tolle talks about this, feeling your hand or your feet or your chest and going inside, which is not really an inside because there's no outside. There's only this. There's only here. You recognize that it's a sense of aliveness. It's the fullness of life, which he referred to, which was very beautiful, because in that you recognize there is something there that's not changing. And that is, to me, like the present moment. The peak of your experience is in every moment. This moment, this moment, this moment, this moment that is timeless, this moment that is devoid of any concepts and labels. And so fear is really just the recognition that it's a natural way of life to protect this organism of the human body, that there isn't anything inherently wrong with fear, but it actually points to the freedom that is beyond the fear, right? You're never going to become free of fear, but you will be okay with fear. And that is the okayness that I refer to, where there is this sense of okayness instead of this constant high, where this is not enough because the mind is not enoughness. And that's what creates dissatisfaction. It creates seeking, and it creates all the dissatisfaction in your life. And so sitting is actually why you're looking for more, to slow down a little bit, return back into what it is to be here. That's what I'm pointing to. That's what I'm guiding you towards. Go back into knowing yourself. And in that, you're going to find much more knowledge, much more wisdom than any book, any person, any authority outside of you is going to tell you about yourself. Because all you need to know is already within you, within your body, which is a temple, within your energy, which is you simply just want to know, oh, I exist. I am here. And when I look for here, I don't find myself, but I know that I am here. Really go into that. I know that I'm here, but where am I? And just keep going. Just stay there. Don't go. Well, there's really nowhere you can go because you're always here. Say, but I'll be over there. Yeah, but when you get over there, you'll be here because here is the only thing. Here and now. Well, my recommendation is that you, after this video, maybe sit for 5 minutes or maybe 45 minutes and notice the urges to, let me reach for my phone. Oh, I had a thought, which is going to be the biggest one. But that noticing is the dissolving of this mechanism. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate you for clicking the play button. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel so that we can keep growing our community of being our true authentic self.